This episode is sponsored by CJ Wassell Roofing and Building Solutions. For all your roofing, building and landscaping needs, call CJ Wassell in Leeds, Pontefract, Barnsley, Doncaster and surrounding areas. Contact details in description below. You can also find them on Facebook.
Alright fight fans, welcome back to No Bones Fight Talk. Today we have a very special guest making his BKB debut on the 18th of October at BKB 47, Furqan the Lion, Cheema. Welcome to the show, mate.
Welcome.
Yeah, good. How are you guys?
All right, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I'm good.
Thanks,
I'm good.
thanks for joining us today, mate. It's been a long time coming. I think we got in touch with you about a year or so ago, didn't we? We were having a bit of a chat then, but things didn't quite work out. But yeah, so if we can just start with your BKB debut. It's a huge show that's going to be in Leeds in a couple of weeks' time.
Probably 19th.
Is it 18th? Yeah,
18th,
probably.
yeah.
By the time this is released, it'll probably be about a week to go. So first of all, how are you feeling, mate? How was prep going for this huge event?
Good, very good. Yeah, definitely. Like I says, about probably 8 weeks ago, I was 110 kg. So I finally lost all that weight, and it's gone good. Everything's going to plan. Game plan, everything we've been working on, all on the right track. So looking forward to it. Excited.
Good. So how much do you weigh now?
So at the moment I'm 96 kg.
96.
And I'll be competing at 87 kg. So that's the weight that I need to make.
Yeah.
So a day before weighing. So hopefully the next day I'll be
Because
pumped up a little.
You're a tall lad, aren't you?
I am,
191.
6'3", yeah. So I'm pretty
Are you
big.
fighting at cruiserweight?
Yes, cruiserweight,
cruiserweight,
super cruiserweight, I believe it is for
So it's
BKB.
205 pounds. Is that what it
Believe.
no.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
for
it might be
MMA it
different.
would have
It's
been
over
towards
200.
middleweight going into. Well, usually for MMA it's like 84
185,
kg.
innit?
Yeah,
I usually
yeah.
fight it, but got that 87, so I'm happy with that instead of 84.
So sorry, go on, Rich.
No, yeah. How are you with weight cutting?
I've always been good. I've never missed weight. I've always been good. In fact, the only time I've ever missed weight was when I firstly competed on one championship, but that was short notice, and it was only about 1 kg because of hydration clause.
Yeah.
But I've always been spot on with weight. I always make sure I do
easy,
weight.
but easy to cut for you. Or,
Yeah.
Some people really struggle, don't they? Like really struggle.
Yeah, a lot of people do struggle, I believe, but I think it's now with experience. I think you kind of know how to work your body, and like I said, because I've had like 2 years out, I was a bit uncertain, thinking like maybe my body's changed because obviously I'm getting older.
Yeah.
But so far, looking at everything, it's going to plan, and I'm kind of happy where I'm at because I know I'm getting very close to hitting that weight. So yeah, I'm pretty confident it'll be all
Yeah,
right and
that's
smooth.
nice.
Yeah.
So on your BKB debut, you're fighting. Is it Patrick Fornalski?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I think he's 1-0 in bare-knuckle. But
Yes, he is. Yeah.
I think he's had quite a bit of like underground type stuff.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the Street Kings and stuff.
Just other promotions, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like he's, from what I know, like he's had a different kind of bouts, like a lot of unlicensed boxing bouts, and I know he's won of quite a few titles there, and then also I know he does like hybrid MMA kind of boxing bouts. And
Do you try and watch quite a bit of tape on your opponent?
no, to be honest with you, like obviously when I got told who I'm fighting against, and once it got confirmed, I did watch a couple of videos. Just naturally.
You
But
need
since
to know
then,
what
that's
he's
it.
like, what
not
he's doing.
Yeah, I've kind of watched what he's about and stuff, and that's it.
And just focus
I don't
on
like to
yourself.
do that. No, yeah. Like with myself, I just kind of like to focus on myself and improve on myself. I've seen obviously them couple of videos, and I kind of know what he's about. But I don't like to focus too much because on fight night anything can happen, and there can be a lot of changes. So when you're focused on specific things about your opponent, when you compete and they do something different, you'll be shocked. So I don't want to go down that mindset. So the way I'm focusing is everything I do, everything I'm improving, and kind of making sure that I do everything correct from my side. So
just
that's all.
prepare to the best of your ability.
Yeah, my strength and my
that's-
weakness.
It's funny you mentioned
Yeah.
that because it recently happened to Deck, wasn't it? When on his debut in BKFC, he was basically the guy who he was fighting. He was always charging forward, and they were expecting that, and they really prepared for that. And he wasn't doing that at all. He was on back foot. That they were like, oh, so the game plan changed.
Yeah.
They were
Dex
completely
Spellman's
different.
BKFC debut, wasn't it? Where
Yeah.
you're fighting a guy who, like he's just said, come forward quite a lot, and an MMA guy, and he just sat back, and so it kind of Dex, and it took him Dex Spellman took him a while to adjust to that. He looked classy, and he come through in end, didn't he? But
Oh, yeah, he
threw him a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny because like when I competed in one championship, my last fight in Thailand, the opponent I fought against, he judged me purely on the fight before when I fought against Rahul. That was my first fight. But then I remember speaking to his manager, and he says, after the fight, he said to me, he says, you totally were just different. I was like, yeah, because you watched the fight where I took it in like 5 days notice. I cut a lot of weight. I wasn't training for the fight. I was drained. Yeah. And I was surviving. So he said, yeah, we noticed you were on back foot a lot. I said, yeah, because I was just trying to survive, because I was too, like, I wasn't myself. I wasn't ready for the fight. I just took the opportunity.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, but this fight, you were just like, you know, you were coming forward and you were trying to fight. And, you know, I said, yeah, because this was me. This was the real me. So that's what kind of made me learn about it, thinking, you know, sometimes, like, because he was shocked because he was trying to wrestle me and he couldn't take me down at that particular fight, the Russian lad that I fought against. He was like trying to wrestle me, and he, after the fight, he said to me, he said, you were very strong and different, and your defense, he said, I stopped wrestling you. But I said, yeah, because you watched the video, and that's where you've gone wrong. You watched the video where I was unprepared. And the good thing is, a lot of the times on YouTube, when you type in my name, that worst fight comes on. So in a way, it works for me better, because everyone watches that. Yeah, it's the worst of the worst fight. Yeah. But
so everyone underestimates you.
Yeah,
like,
on that fight.
Who's
so
this guy?
Yeah, so I hope Patrick's watching that fight as well.
Well, we can send a clip over.
You know that fight in first round?
Yeah.
I generally think you were probably half a second too late. I think you would have flattened him, because in first round you did a spinning back fist, didn't you?
Yeah,
it just flew over his head by that much. I thought half a second that would have been right on a chin.
You know, it's a funny story that, because I remember at that time my current coach Tani, the boxing coach, he went with me, and I said to him, Tani, you know, we've cut weight. You know, I've come from 2 holidays. I'm not trained, because my last fight at that time was, I think it was September, and that was it. I was going to fight for the new year, so I had no preparation. I thought, right, time for holiday, try to enjoy this year, you know, have fun. I had no intention, because I fought 3 times, and luckily enough, I won all them 3 fights, and I thought, you know, I can enjoy myself. But when this came, this was like 5 days notice, and when they mentioned one championship, I thought, right, I'm taking this, you know, because it's a big opportunity, and I just drained myself. Like, literally, the 5 days that I had to cut weight, I was not drinking any water. I was eating a small piece of cabbage. I was gone. And then usually when I make weight, I can add quite a few kg on, quite a bit. But for this, I couldn't, because my stomach was shrunk. So I couldn't put weight on. So I was too weak for this fight. So when I fought Rahul, I remember saying to the coach, I said, look, I don't think I'm going to win this fight, because I am too drained. I can feel it. I'm just not myself. But it's a big opportunity, and I'm going to try surviving. That was the aim, and I don't know, it's not a good mentality to have, but because I was so drained out mentally and it just wasn't for me, I said to him, right, I'm going to try a spinning back fist some point in the fight, just in case that luck comes my way. And I remember throwing that, and I watched that video, I thought, oh man, he was just so close. Maybe if I dipped a bit more, I would have caught him or something. But
do you know the question then? Because I just thought of that. I never thought of that before. So if you, like you said, if you haven't trained for a while and you went on holidays and all this and you had to drain yourself, do you know your timing? Is that off a bit?
Yeah, 100%. Because
Yeah.
I was not sparring. Honestly, like, no offense to Rahul. Like, I tried to get the rematch with him. Even after the Thailand fight, I said, look, that's just one fight I want, because I know he fought against somebody and he was happy to give me that rematch. But unfortunately, it just would never materialise him. But in my heart, I know 110%. I've said it to everyone, like, if it's the real me and everything correctly and I get a camp, I know I'll take him out. Yeah. I know that, but and it's a fight I've always wanted.
Probably promotion know that as well now.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I was dying for it. I was like asking, please just give me that opportunity, because it's something that, you know, when you have regrets in life, I don't regret the opportunity and I'm always grateful for it, but I always hope, like, you know, if that just one fight I can get given, if I can give him that, I've got full respect for him. He's a good fighter. Like, I'm happy, you know, whatever he does is a good fighter, but it's just something that bugs me. Even if I went with a 7-week camp, 8-week camp, and I fought against him and I lost, I'll be happy. I'll be like, okay, fair dues, I've lost.
Yeah, you've put it online, haven't you?
But when you know that was not you, and unfortunately you get judged for that, it kind of bugs you. It always plays with you. It's something that I can't get over.
Better. I know I can do better,
Yeah, like occasionally I message Rahul sometimes. I'm like, Rahul, man, we need to get this rematch on. And he's like, brother, I want to go. I want to have it. And I'm like, man, but someone needs to get us on. But unfortunately, it's difficult because he's the other side of the world and I'm here. And which show's going to invest in that?
So I wanted to ask you that. So, because I don't think we had anybody else who fought on ONE FC. I can't think of anyone.
I don't think so. Yeah, for your first ONE FC.
How is it as an organization? What's it like in general to be there? Because you had a few fights there, didn't you?
Yeah. I can't really like judge. Like, it has had its negative side and also positive side, but for myself, like, I'm just grateful they gave me the opportunity. As an organisation, I don't feel as if felt like as if they fulfilled what I wanted. I felt like as if, like, again, I'm not criticising them, but because COVID came during that period, but I kind of saved the show for them. And for somebody, I remember, like, I was told by my manager, they were going through a database of fighters because specifically they wanted a Pakistani fighter for this show because it was Pakistan versus India, and it's a big rival.
Because they're massive in Asia and they're moving down, don't they? That's what they're trying to do.
They went through like a database of fighters, and then eventually it came on to me. But there were two of the fighters that they were really keen on, but and with more experience. But unfortunately, one of them were injured and the other one couldn't make weight.
Yeah.
For myself, the sacrifice that I did, and to save the show, the weight cut I did, the professionalism I did, I felt as if I deserved something out of it, which I did. I got a 6-fight contract, but COVID happened, and unfortunately after that, it just got forgotten. You know, it just like.
Was that the first or second fight on one?
That was the first one, yeah.
First one. How many did you have in total on one?
So I had another one after that, but that were on the Friday fight nights, which were just the one fight. But for me, I think the saddest thing was, like, I never got to show
your
what
real
I'm
potential,
capable of.
true potential.
And I felt as if they gave me the opportunity, but they kind of owed me it because of what I did for them. Because that show, like, the audience, I remember one of the videos got 1 million views. Yeah. Everything were all about Pakistan versus India, and it was a big promotion. So I felt as if, like, they could have gave me that opportunity. And then when I fought the one in Thailand, that was, like, again, me constantly asking the matchmakers, come on guys, give me a fight. Eventually they gave me a fight, but then there were a lot of expenses, everything cut out of it, which again, I accepted the opportunity. But again, I got offered a few opponents, and I was like, look, yeah, I accepted them. And then the opponents were getting changed, and then eventually they brought this guy, and I just felt as if, like, with one, I never got that opportunity and that professionalism. And it's not maybe, I think it was just the people that I was dealing with, unfortunately, wasn't giving me that opportunity that I should have got given.
If they'd fulfilled their, like, an obligation for, like, a 6-fight deal, you think that would have been enough for you then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, if they gave me a couple of fights.
A couple more.
Really, there's not much you can do about that.
You know, the crazy thing is, and again, I think this is in life in general itself, but when I got that 6-fight contract, I was like, wow, you know, like, okay, I've lost, but now this is my chance. And, you know, I had a goal, and I thought, and then when I was speaking to matchmakers, like, guys, are you going to give me an opportunity? Yeah, we're going to get you on in a few months, blah, blah, blah. And then things used to change, and then COVID happened. But I felt like as if, you know, during that period, like, as a fighter, I was so reliant on one. Everyone used to ask me, oh, when you fighting one? Yeah, soon I'll be fighting him. Because that's the promises I used to get given. But really, it would always, like, false promises, like, oh yeah, we try getting you on in a couple of months. And as a fighter, you're eager, you're like, am I going to get on in a couple of months?
Yeah, because you want to be active, don't you?
Yeah, and it was like, every time I keep ringing my manager, am I going to get on a couple of months? Can you find out? Yeah. Take a COVID job. All right, I'll take a COVID job, which I didn't want to do anyways. But just because I sacrificed it, I took a COVID job. Am I going to fight again? We're going to get back to you. And it was just constant like that. And that as a fight kills you. There were times when I was training hard. Oh yeah, my manager was like, I think you'll be getting a fight in 5-6 weeks possibly. Okay, I'm training hard. And then, oh no, maybe another couple of weeks. Okay. And then, you know, it was just like up, down.
It's really interesting you say that, because we speak to a lot of fighters, and a lot of them say the same thing. They need that date.
Yeah.
They can keep ticking over, keep training or helping teammates out, but really they need a date for their own mental state, don't they? Something to focus to. But like, what you've just said about what you've just gone through all is interesting as well, because a lot of fight fans, and some maybe even us or media guys, they don't see what the fighter goes through mentally or physically when they haven't got that date and they haven't got a fight lined up.
This was like a big opportunity for me, and it was like, this is why I feel like as if sometimes when I look back in like the fight career, like I look at stuff and I think, yeah, I've been managed well, and you know, my managers have done the right things, but then the opportunities have come, but I've just never got the right like opportunity. Like for this one, like in Thailand, that was like 6-7 week notice, and again that was still a bit short time.
That is short, because you want at least 12 weeks for camp.
But again, it was just me constantly pestering and contacting. And there's actually a fellow fighter who's in the same gym as me, Tom Crosby. I was talking to him recently, and he kind of went similar to Octagon.
Yeah.
And I said to him, Tom, I've been through that position, and he was going through the same thing, but now he's just signed with Cage Warriors. But this is what I'm saying, it's not fair. You know, I think sometimes as an organisation, you know, I think sometimes they should look at a fighter. Maybe I'm not a high caliber fighter. Maybe I'm part of that bottom pile, but maybe look at what I've done for you as well, and maybe just appreciate that and give me that chance.
It should be a two-way thing, shouldn't it?
Well, with Tom, I don't really understand what they did, because when he had that fight, crowd went crazy over him. They fucking loved him.
Yeah.
And then, they gave him, they gave him the contract and all this. They said, you'll be fighting soon. And they kept saying that for a year, didn't they? And nothing was happening, and they just left him eventually.
Yeah,
and
when he fought Miroslav Broz in Czech, probably fight at night. We're an absolute war.
Awesome fight,
Could have got a few people I spoke to, even like Shamrock and some other lads.
He won as well.
They watched it, I thought it as well. But a few of them said, I thought you were very close, but we thought you edged it.
Yeah.
But, you didn't, but then he went like a year with nothing.
Exactly.
For me, it's out of order,
and
really.
I've seen it in Tom. You know, like mentally as well, like, you know, you're quite like, you know, always prepared and excited, and you know, he was so looking forward to Octagon's opportunity.
Yeah, because he thought, this is it, this is my place.
Yeah, exactly.
He really loved it. He goes, I like
so
where
much.
I am, the fans are great.
Yeah, and he's a nice guy and he's an experienced fighter, but again, I think sometimes organisations try like finding their little, you know, knit group and, you know, look after them.
Well, the part of contract, it's all suits the organisation.
Everything.
You can sign a free fight deal, but if you have to won the thing, you know what? It's
But actually, I understand all of that. I understand business is business. But what I don't understand, if the fight is popular with the fans, why wouldn't you have him back on? I just don't understand that part of it.
Yeah.
I just don't get it, because, you know, if you're a promoter, if you're an owner of organization and you say, this guy, have you seen he lost last time, but have you seen what happened? The crowd fucking loved him more than the other guy.
Yeah.
Let's have him back on as soon as possible.
Yeah.
But instead, they just didn't do that.
Yeah, it's horrible. And like I said, when I came from that first fight on one, the amount of comments, because it was a big fight, and the amount of like messages I was getting, hateful messages and stuff, and I think all that I've been through, you couldn't just give me that one, you know, chance. Yeah, they gave me it in Thailand when I fought, but then again, that was totally different to my contract. I had to take a cut on a lot of things, and it was just very like basic. And I'm not a money person or anything like that, but for me, I just felt like that respect of what I did for you. Maybe if you gave me it back, even if you just gave me that one rematch, that's it. I would have been happy with that, and I would have never looked back. But like I says, I'm grateful for the opportunity, but for me, it's just more, I felt as if as an organisation, there's things that they can do better.
Do you feel all that's part of your learning though now? It's like building you up to where you are now. And
yeah, definitely.
That huge fight you've got coming up in a couple of weeks. How did that come about then? What were your thought process, and who approached you to get into bare-knuckle?
How you made the decision basically to transition to bare-knuckle, because that's a big change.
Different. So like with myself, like I've always come from like a boxing background. My family own a gym in Dewsbury, KBW, which is a boxing gym. So my dad's a boxing referee. My younger brother used to be a pro boxer. My elder brother used to kickbox. So it's all in the family kind of thing.
Makes sense now.
Yeah.
When you say that.
Yeah, we've always like been into that. But Carl, my manager Carl Messon from HD Fight Management, he contacted me. Like I said, I've had a really tough 2 years, and obviously we've been discussing about, you know, moving on and trying to, you know, compete again. Eventually, you know, like with myself, mindset wise and everything, I felt like, right, I'm starting going back to gym. Maybe I'm ready for an opportunity. So we had a discussion, and with Cage Warriors, obviously, you know, Cage Warriors were aware of the situations that I've been through, and unfortunately that didn't really pull off. So we thought of a new plan, and we thought, right, why don't we go into something different? And he says to me, what about BKFC or BKB, BYB? Why don't you go for these guys? So we had a discussion, and I said, you know what, that's something different. And Carl is always about vision. He always thinks ahead. So he says to me, look, there's not many South Asian Pakistani fighters in this organisation or in BKB. There is maybe a couple that have fought on like smaller shows, etc., but not on a bigger show. So he says, I think this is a niche market for you. I think this is something that maybe will get you back up there and, you know, get you going again. And I thought about it, and I thought, you know what, he's right. There isn't many. And that's why we went for it. And at that time, Jim Freeman, we spoke to him, and he offered me a good contract. And now we are here we are. We're gonna go for it now. See how we do.
So it's got your blood flowing again.
100%. Yeah, definitely. It's like it's a, like I said, it's a different sport, but it's something I'm excited for because it's different. And also, like, again, like what Carl says, representing and, from a South Asian background, maybe this might be a niche in the market for me to jump into. Maybe I might do well with this and, look back and think, you know what? It's come. Let's go now. Let's keep going forward.
No, good. It's good to see that.
So, who's scored? Because I thought Danny gonna corner you, but now I don't know who's scoring you. Then?
Yeah, so Danny is in my corner.
Danny's scoring.
Danny's in my corner. So I've got Danny Mitchell in the corner. I'll be having the coach from KBW Boxing Gym, which is my family gym.
Yeah.
The head coach from there, Tani, and then also a family member, which is my younger brother. I always like to keep my younger brother because my younger brother's one of them kind of lads. Like, if I'm doing something wrong or anything, he's going to tell me, he's like that. Even in the gym, if I'm doing something wrong, he'll be like, you're looking shit today. You're doing this wrong. He says it how it is. How old is he? He's 31.
Oh,
but he used to be a pro
so,
boxer.
Yeah.
And he was a really good boxer. He had like 70 amateur fights. He won 63. He was Yorkshire champion. He was Haringey champion. He was a national ABA finalist. So he was really good.
That's
but
really good level, yeah.
At a pro, he ended up gaining an injury. His ankle kept popping from his third pro fight, and then he just wasn't the same, so he decided to pack it in. But knowledge-wise and boxing skill-wise, he's very intelligent.
Well, that's a lot of experience.
Yeah. So he's someone who just tells me how it is. So that's why funny. I said to him, "You're going to be my corner." He says, "I'm glad I'm in your corner because
I'm going to whip
if you
your
do
ass.
anything wrong, I'm telling you how it is," which I prefer. Sometimes
it's okay. Yeah,
you need that criticism from one of your own, but. Yeah, I've got a good corner team.
No, that's really good.
Yeah.
Well, Danny's got plenty of experience.
100%. Yeah.
Plenty.
Yeah, good say 100 and what? 108 fights.
109 now.
Yeah. I just hope his finger's better. What we were talking about earlier. In sparring, he dislocated his finger whilst he was sparring, and it's took him out for a couple of weeks.
He just twisted it back now. Good to go, mate.
Yeah. He'll be
what? I broke my small finger one. It hurts. I'll tell you that. Yeah, it's worse than you breaking an arm. Really, really hurts.
So you're training then, because you've obviously had quite a bit of MMA experience. You got to a really good level. Obviously, pro MMA fighter. Were you 5-2 as a pro?
Yeah.
How was your training adjusted then? Really into bare knuckle. Like, how was it? Do you train with straight boxers, or are you mixing it with certain guys that have had certain bare knuckle experience? How was all your training adjusted? How have you adjusted your training?
Mix it up, because you see, with the way I look at it anyways, the way I think of it is I've always sparred with smaller gloves. So what's the difference? I'm just taking a bit of the covering off and I'm still sparring the same, really. So for me, bare knuckle is like MMA but striking, as weird it sounds, but that's how I look at it, because I've never been a boxer where I've had the big 16-ounce pads and etc. But for me, I've always sparred with MMA gloves. So the only difference is me removing them, and that's it, it's bare knuckle. Yeah. So it kind of everything seems the same.
With distances as well, obviously. With a big boxing glove.
I think the impact is going to be different, and probably the damage, etc. But I feel as if there's not much I need to change, because this time I'm not grappling, I'm not doing anything like that. It's just straight boxing. And to me, I imagine it as right, I've got MMA gloves on, I'm just straight boxing. Maybe a bit faster, I'll feel a bit lighter, I don't know. But I don't see a big adjustment. I watched the BKFC not so long ago where James DeGale fought.
Oh, yeah.
And I could see a big difference. And now that's someone of a high caliber, but for me, at that particular fight, I thought, whoa, is that James DeGale really?
You know what?
I could see some boxers I feel as if maybe don't set in as well, where with MMA fighters set in better, possibly because of the way we are with the clinchers, the way we are with the bit of dirty boxing. Yeah. So for me, I feel as if it's kind of me going, kind of the same thing, but the only difference is I'm just taking the gloves off. Everything will be kind of there.
Not to take anything away from you, but I expected more from James DeGale. I thought he's gonna do better than I know he won, but it felt like I don't know whether it wasn't his night or I don't know.
Yeah,
well, he was inactive for how many years?
And
he's fighting a proper scrapper who tried to rough him up. If he had just stood in front of him, he'd have got his face punched off.
I think
that's what I mean. That's what I see the difference. James DeGale said it. No discredit to him, because it was his first fight. Maybe it was a bit of a shock to the system, and maybe the next fight, if he does have one, maybe he'll be a different person. But I felt that was the difference. The person that he fought against, Matty Floyd, I think. He was the pro,
let's get stuck in,
each other, where I think James DeGale, because he's been a Olympic boxer and it's something different, you were like, whoa, this is, and he said it in the interview, says this is different. So I think there's a difference. There's a fighter and there's a boxer, and I think with the MMA side of things, a lot of us are trained as fighters.
Yeah, no, that's
so
right.
I think that's gonna, you know, that's the difference. That's the mentality I'm having.
Because
anyways.
it looked like as well, it looked like he felt like he had more time than he actually had.
Yeah.
Because it's fast paced, isn't it?
Yeah, it was.
And
yeah.
it looked like he was taking his time, and you're like, well, you can't really take your time that long.
That's what I mean. That's the difference with it. But again, it's like, I think bare knuckle boxing suits a lot of the MMA guys. Because it's that dirty little. You know, in clinches, what do you do? You'll throw a bit of dirty punches, you'll clinch, There's little things that are like more suited for us, and then we spar with smaller gloves, so we're kind of used to that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah. So that hopefully, anyways, we'll see. We'll see what happens on the night, and then we can decide from there.
No, it's going to be a massive show. I mean, it's in Leeds, 18th.
Yeah.
There's Scott McHugh on there. There's a couple of the local lads, obviously from Leeds. There's Paolo Malignaggi, former world champion boxer, who fought at an amazing level. Fought pretty much everybody around them lower divisions. It's a big card. I mean, I bet that would have drawn knowing that Paolo Malignaggi was on.
100%. Like when that was mentioned, and they were like, it's in Leeds as well. I thought, oh, this is perfect.
Yeah, it's on doorstep.
Yeah, just tick the boxes, and I thought, you know what, it's just down the road from me. And just to be on his undercard is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, so I think, again, it's like, I'm grateful. You know, I think maybe sometimes you think in life things don't plan out for you, but then opportunities do come ahead. And I think, look, who would have said, like, I'm going to be on Apollo Maji's undercard? Because as a kid, I used to watch his fights.
Yeah.
Probably not my favourite fighter, but it was someone that I used to
they were
watch.
flashy, very fast, flashy.
And not in like discredit way or anything like that, but as a favourite fighter, just I felt as if Paul Maji didn't have that power. He used to be very flashy, quick. Where me, I like the Gatties, I like the the ones that get stuck in a bit. But he's someone I used to watch. So just to be on his undercard, I just think, it's amazing. So, yeah, that's another thing that draws me.
You're lucky in respect with that as well, because he should have fought, is it Goodwin?
Yeah.
He's fighting. But they should have fought in the last show, last month, I think it was. But I think he got injured, didn't he?
Yeah.
So even kind of that's lining up for you as well, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So it's amazing. It's just good to do that. But, yeah, overall, the show's good. Just speaking to even the promoter, Jim Freeman, very straight to the point. And I prefer that.
Yeah. What do you know? If you take from any other any martial arts, what would be your one fighter that you would like to fight?
Like to fight?
Yeah, from any era, anybody.
The guy that I lost against, I won championship round, you get him on. No, like with me,
get him over to bare-knuckle, mate.
Maybe
your debut.
Yeah, if I have a word with Jim and see if we can get him on. Yeah, no. Yeah, possibly him, to be honest.
Just want to.
Yeah, because other fighters I respect, and I respect everybody, and I respect him as well. But I think that's just one fight that I probably would love to just go back and.
Because you win.
Well, yeah, in my heart, I believe that, and it's just something that I just like to. It's something that's just always there. Probably when I'm out.
He took it away from me.
If I ever get there, if I'm 70, 80 years old and I'm looking back at Cherry, if I've got my grandkids, I'll be like. Get that round here. I would have a do with him. Bring him here. Let's have a fight. Bring him in. No, respect to him. He's a good guy.
So you see, this is very much as like a new career path then.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Like I says, I've got this one fight with these guys. See how we get on. You see, I can't look forward at the moment until I've got this fight done with, because this is what's gonna kind of make me realise: is it for me? Is it not for me? But for myself, mentally and everything. I'm ready for it, so I don't have no excuses. You have purpose now, isn't it? I'm focusing on this, and then after that, I'll see what's happening. Until then, nothing else matters. Yeah, because like I say, it's a total different sport, and I've never done bare knuckle before. Probably when I was like 14, 13 years old, when I was in school, maybe I would let it scrap, but they were just like, so it's not an actual. But I think for me, it's becoming a very popular sport. It's becoming big. It's a good time to go into. And I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I think this is the best time for me. Do you know?
I'll tell you what's going to be strange. Sorry, Rich. You know the Trigon? Yeah, that's I'll be honest with you. At first few times I saw it, I think it's all a bit strange visually.
You can't escape.
What can it actually? Where do you go?
Yeah, so it's just like I said, a triangle shape. But
how do you train for that? Can you train for that?
Can't really, can you? But like with myself, again, we kind of work in like close proximity where in the boxing gym we work in a small area anyways. Like we've got 2 big rings, but we also work in small areas and keeping the distance and everything. So for me, I kind of I feel I should know what to do, hopefully anyways. If not, then
Yeah,
God knows.
you'll find out quick.
I'm
I
like,
wonder
"Hey,
if
guys."
it's all about like your feet placement. Because you know, if you plant your feet in certain area, if you get in trouble, you can kind of, because you can't go back. You're
Yeah.
against the ropes.
Yeah,
If you go left, like move with the back left, you immediately in the corner where you stuck.
yeah,
It's like I keep like
I think it just forces you to fight, doesn't it?
yeah. That's exactly what I'm gonna say.
It
I
just
think,
forces
yeah,
you,
yeah,
because it's not like a boxing ring where you can circle out, or even in squared circle in
Yeah.
BKFC. You can get round, but how do you, when it's a triangle, trigon, where do you go?
yeah.
You've got to
and it's
scrap
small
on.
That's
as well.
exactly
It's
what I'm gonna say.
ridiculously
I
small.
Well,
think-
that's probably why it's so exciting.
Yeah,
though.
I think that's why they built it in that
Yeah.
purpose to make a fight. Like there is space to move about, but probably not enough space. But then it's enough space for you to kind of move about, but you're gonna get into a fight.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
so I think it's a good way to do it as well. Like sometimes maybe a bigger, ring or etc. It'll be just you can run about a little bit. Where with this one, you're gonna be forced to fight, and
Yeah,
that's what
I
I
feel
want,
that.
anyways. Yeah,
Yeah.
And what about the rounds? Is it 5 threes?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
which is different as well.
Yeah, it
from
is.
the
Yeah,
KFC.
yeah. Longer rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's gonna be interesting. But again, like when you watch the BKB fights, not many of them get past to 5 rounds, anyways. A lot of the times, but I think it just depends what kind of fighter you are and how it's gonna start off. Some fighters will probably start off very fast. Some fighters will kind of control that time and know how to work that time. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how that works out.
A
Yeah.
lot of it depends on styles, doesn't it? I mean,
Yeah,
like
it
this
does,
past
yeah,
weekend,
yeah.
we've kind of got to mention this. I mean, we were there. Sean Weir and Joe Lister. I mean, if one fight that you could ever watch as I don't know, to shine a bit of spotlight on any bare knuckle, I mean, that's one of the craziest couple of rounds I've ever seen. I mean,
Yeah.
both of them just met in middle. Both extremely aggressive, extremely powerful and talented kids. Sean obviously been quite a bit older, I think early 30s or what have you.
Yeah.
Joe been 21. To watch that live, I mean, I've mentioned it a few times already in the past week. It were absolutely, it fucking blew my mind how everything about it. It had the lot, knockdowns, comebacks. Obviously, a young kid against another guy making his debut as well. The atmosphere of it was just pure violence, and honestly, the walk out from Sean, it
Yeah.
blew my mind.
He
It was
walked out
special.
into what's that song?
It was Gladiator theme tune.
Gladiator theme
Yeah.
tune, yeah.
And-
And he just weird aura when he does that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like really, because usually somebody walks out at rap song, or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
He walked out at this Gladiator song, and
Yeah.
honestly, the like the atmosphere was so weird, you wouldn't believe.
No, it was special.
And I'm trying to find an entrance tune, so you've got me motivated there. I'm going to go up today, imagine it, see what it sounds like. But
Do the same as well.
no, you know what? It's a gladiator sport. And, I think this is the reason why I've gone into it, because, don't get me wrong, I'm critical about myself as well with a lot of things. And, I can throw criticism towards myself. And
In life and in fighting.
yeah, definitely. There's things that I can improve on and work on. And, like, I have come from a striking pattern. Sometimes I feel as if I've not shown enough striking. I can hit pads, strike, and, maybe look good. But then sometimes in fights, I feel as if, either it's gone to a submission, etc., or whatever.
Yeah, but you
Sometimes
are
not.
BJJ gold medalist, aren't you?
Yeah, I did win many years ago. I did win a tournament of Gracie Barter, and I ended up getting a gold for that. But yeah, but for
You're
myself,
still more of a striker,
I just
you'd
feel as
say.
if I've not given my full potential to it. Like with striking, I feel as if there's so much more I can give, but I've never done it, and I've always been maybe either a little bit gun shy or whatever. So, but I think now I'm at that stage where, because I've got more mature, I've grown up more, I think more about the boxing, the fighting side of it, and I criticise and I look into things. I feel as if now this is the time for me to, and that's why I want to do this, because I've got no choice to fight back. But I've classed this as a gladiator sport because I think your heart does get tested in this. The pain, the hurt, the everything, you're getting tested, and that's what I want. I want to go out on a shield, and one day I don't want to look back, looking at some of the fights, thinking, oh man, I could have done this, I could have done that. I want to look back and think, you know what? Yeah, that's me. I was a gladiator. I fought back.
That's nice. That's
I want
good.
to test that heart. And if the heart's not there, it's not there.
Well,
but
mate, this
I wanna
game
test
will
it.
give you opportunity.
100%.
Yeah.
Ben
That's
Lowe,
what I
isn't
want
it?
to
When
test.
a few weeks
Yeah.
ago when
Yeah.
we had Ben Lowe on, he was saying, if he's in the ring, well, his coach used to do that. If he's in the ring and he gave it all, and if he used to lose the fight, and he used to be pissed off, and his coaches say, you won? He goes, why? He goes, well, you left nothing there.
That's it, exactly.
You just
that's what I
gave
want.
everything you had, so
Yeah.
that's a good thing. But
Yeah.
if he didn't, he said he always reminded him, he says, what the fuck?
Yeah, and that's what I want. And it's one of them things where, with myself as well, it's a goal. It's something that's in my mind when I'm thinking, you know what, I want to test this out.
Yeah.
And I want to see that killing instinct come. Because, like, it's crazy, you know, like a lot of people said to me when I was younger, I ended up getting a lot of first round finishes, but I had that aggression. And then slowly it will fade in. But I don't know if that maybe...
Is that after you've had kids and stuff, do you think?
I don't know. This is what I mean. Like, sometimes I think about it. I think maybe it's because I've become a father and, you know, like, I don't know, but it's something that now it's like a challenge to me now. I'm
to get
thinking,
that back.
Right, I'm in a sport now that's going to make me pull out that heart. It's going to make me fight and it's going to make me test it. And I'm thinking now this is the time to show if I've got it in me. I believe I have, but I just want to get that, reinvent it again, you know. You know, so that's what I'm looking forward to.
I can see you're excited as well.
Look
at that, like, come on, let's fucking go.
So Patrick, don't try knocking me out in first 10 seconds. Give me a bit of time.
But now you can fully focus, like you said earlier, only on your boxing, can't you?
100%, yeah. Like I said, this is the one fight where I have no excuses. I can't go back. You know, like sometimes when you have doubts and you think about certain things, this is where mentally I'm ready for it. Mentally, I'm ready to go. I'm excited. I'm obviously I'm going to be nervous. That's natural. But there's something in me where it's like it's a challenge that's coming ahead, and it's a challenge that I want to overcome. And I'll trust me, man. This is going to be something for me, man.
Would you say that's something you've suffered with then, with nerves going into fights over your 100%,
career? Yeah, definitely. And I don't think it's a bad thing, but like I says, I remember one time me and my elder brother fought on the same show, and in the change room, my brother's like, he used to be a very like aggressive kind of fighter. And he's there and he's like, can't wait to get out. And I'm going to kill this guy. I'm going to smash him up. And he's got a different mentality. And I'm there like this. And he's looking at me and he's like, why are you nervous for? What are you shaking for? You're going to go in there for a fight. And I'm like, yeah, I'll be all right. I'll be okay. But I've always been like that. But, you know, for me, it's one of them things where it keeps you aware. It keeps you alert. Everything, you know, your mind is sharper. But then also, I think, you know, when I go through that whole drama of being nervous, going out in front of a crowd, but once that first punch happens and then eventually you start fighting, and then after that, once you've done it all, you're like, wow, you know what? And that's what it's all about. It's weird, you know, you actually miss it. Like for this 2 years that I've not competed, I've had that. I miss it. I think, even though like when it comes to fight week and when it's day before or I'm due to fight in a couple of hours, I'm like, shit, what am I doing? Like, I could live an easy life. I could just be eating pizzas, burgers,
to be honest,
and watching
I notice
TV.
it's only two types of fighters, or the ones that they just don't give a shit. They just want to go and fight. They're not scared at all. Which that actually is a bit like, you must be completely like not nutcase, but you have to be a bit, you know, like crazy, isn't it? Not crazy. I don't know how to word this right, but if you know, if you're going to fight, where is, you know, you potentially can die really, and you don't give a shit. You like just can't wait to go. That's a bit disturbing, if you will.
Yeah.
But natural instinct is to be scared, isn't it, and to be nervous.
Yeah.
And I'm more impressed with people who are scared and nervous.
Yeah.
Rather than
you've got to
people
use that as
you've
got to use it as fuel though.
Yeah, you have to.
It's strange because he's saying that we spoke to John Telfer last week. He made his BKFC debut last weekend as well. Came down from Scotland. He'd fought once in 12 years and he's only 28 years old.
Yeah.
Former Muay Thai guy when he was younger. And I asked him when we spoke to him, me and Matty, I said, well, are you feeling nervous? He had only fought once in 12 years and he went, nothing.
Yeah, to me, that's disturbing. I'm like, how can you not be nervous?
He walked out in front of us, and it looked like he was going for a stroll in park.
Yeah,
it was like, wow,
that's disturbing to me.
Yeah, I don't think
it worked for him.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah, it worked for him. Yeah,
it works for some people, but then, like I said, some people can use it in a good way, but then there's some people that can use it in a bad way, and then like with myself with nerves, I think it's a good thing. And to be honest with you, I like do feel as if sometimes I'm a bit too nervous, but then the moment I'm in there and the moment something, you know, we start getting a couple of punches going and stuff like that, then
you forget
I
everything.
Feel it'll start fading away and I'll start getting into my rhythm. But again, it's been 2 years. I've not competed, and like I remember when I fought my last fight on in the Thailand One Championship, like my mentality was a bit different. Like I remember the first time when I've competed, I was like, whoa, and it was a shock to the system.
Under lights, big crowd.
Yeah, but this time I was like, I looked and I thought, yeah, I'm alright, I'm okay. I remember the night before, funny enough, I actually cried because
with nerves.
Yeah, the night before, because I was like, whoa, I'm gonna go back in a big stage. And I remember my friend Furqan, he's a commando soldier. He used to be
mentioned him before,
yeah. And his mentality was tough, and he was next to me, and he was the best person to have next to me. And he was like, look, cry, just let it out. But he says, you're going to feel better. And he said, but why? What's up with you? And I said, look, you know what it is? I'm not scared of my opponent. It's nothing like that. There's just something inside me that I'm just a bit. And he's like, what have you got to be scared of? You know, just go out there, fight. What's the worst thing going to happen? You're going to be knocked out. What's the worst thing? I'm like, yeah, okay. I cried, and I swear I never felt any better. I was like, you know what? I'm ready. The next day when I was getting ready for the fight, I was chilled, relaxed. My mentality was different. I was a little bit nervous, but when I came out of the crowd, I thought, yeah, we're going to go. So, you know, it's weird. So that's why I'm excited to see that as well, because it's been 2 years. Am I still going to be like that? Or, you know, because before fights, the fights before, mentally, I've been like, oh, sugar, I'm going to be fighting and blah, blah, blah. But then that last fight, he kind of made me like think about stuff. And I thought, just me crying just made me like just feel like I've got rid of all that tension. I thought, right, let's go.
On the deeper side of that, what do you think it is? Are you more like, is it you don't want to be embarrassed, or you don't want to let yourself down, or your fans, or your...
So do you know I watched one of the psychologists a few years back, and that's what he said. Do you know the biggest fear of any human being?
It's embarrassment.
It's embarrassment.
Yeah, it is. And I think for me, like even now, is my kids. You know, like my daughter was saying to me over there, bless her, she was like saying to me, she said, Daddy, you're going to win this fight. And I'm like, oh, am I? All right. I feel like, darling, am I going to win it? She says, yeah, Daddy, because you're not fat anymore. I'm like, all right, Dad, thank you, darling. I'm not fat. Well, bless her, she's 6 years old. So she says, Daddy, you look in good shape.
No filter, isn't it? Just says what she thinks.
But
which is
I
good.
think it's for your kids as well. Like, you know, I think for me, having kids now, you know, I've got a girl and a boy. And like, for me, they're like my motivation. And I think for me, it's like, it's one of them things where I've got this in my head, like anything can happen in a fight, but for me, it's like, I'm thinking to myself, like, I want to make them proud. I want them to one day grow up and see their father and think, you know what, my father were a gladiator, my father were tough, my father had this mentality where he would seek challenges. Like, for me, look, I'm a nervous person, you know, I never underestimate anybody, and I think, like, for me to do it, it's a big challenge for me, and I'm overcoming it. And this is what I try teaching my kids. I try teaching them, like, look, don't be afraid of things. Always try different things. Push yourself. Like, when we were on holiday, my daughter didn't want to go into the pool. She was scared of the deep pool. And I used to, you know, throw her into there. And then she had floaters, and then she started enjoying it, and she started doing it herself. And I said, darling, look, this is what I was saying to you. Don't be afraid of it. My son, I told him to jump in. He had floats. I said, just jump in, son. And he was like crying. He was like, Daddy, I can't. I said, come on, make me proud. I'm going to get you a sweet for this. Do it. And he jumped into the water. And then he was like buzzing. You know, he carried on doing that. So this is what it's all about. And I think as a person, for myself, there's challenges that I don't probably like, some challenges, but then I want to do them challenges because I want to test myself. Because one day, like I said to you, I don't want to look back and think, I couldn't do this. So like you were saying earlier, in a fight, if I lost in a fight, I'd rather lose a fight knowing I fought with my shield.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's what I want to do. And this is why I'm going into this sport, because I'm thinking, this is my time to show if I've got it or not. And I really want to do that. And I feel as if I have. But I'll only know on the fight night.
Yeah. You're obviously in fight camp now.
Yeah.
What would you say you hate the most about training, and what do you like the most about it as well?
I think
which part of the training you hate the most, and which part of the training you like the most?
The hateful side of it is the weight cut. You know, losing weight, trying to make sure you're disciplined on that side. So that's probably the worst side of it.
Not the training or anything. That's okay for you.
The training side of it, I think it's all about, you know, it's weird because like now, again, this is why I think I'm maturing more mentally, but like when I'm improving on things, I'm getting better and I'm working on my strengths. But then I think what I love about training is when you're improving the weaknesses and they're coming in place and you start to do things like now.
You start feeling coming all together.
Yeah, like 8-9 weeks ago, I remember hitting the pads and I thought, shit, man, I don't think
You're miles off.
I'm knackered. I was going. My legs felt very heavy. I was struggling. And I remember doing my sparring session and I was just gone.
But you were heavy as well.
Very heavy. But again, I was critical to myself because, you know, sometimes I think, 2 years ago, yeah, maybe I still got it in me. I was like, nah, this is game over. Like, can I even do this? I was questioning myself. But now I'm like, you know, everything's there, and that's what I'm proud of.
It's all building blocks, isn't it?
Yeah,
self-doubt, your weight, and everything
yeah.
starts coming together.
But you see, you know, when you put effort towards something and you start working towards it, like now I look at myself in the morning and I'm like, I'll take my top off. I feel like that
Furqan's back, baby.
It's still a bit there, but I think to myself, you know what? I can see progression, and then I can see like like when I'm hitting the pads, the cardio, the sparring. I'm thinking about stuff like before when I used to fight or when I used to train. Like there's some fighters that like to think about things and improve it, but with me it was just like 1 2 1 2. Work certain things, and you just kind of stick to that one kind of dimension. But now it's like in sparring, like depending on what level I spar with, and the experience I spar with. Like the lower levels, I'll be like trying different things, testing things, and I'm hoping on this fight I can reveal some of them new things that I've been working on that I've never done before. But I'm like proud of. I hope obviously I don't want to give it away now.
So
but
what's your favorite part then?
So with the favorite part with training is about progression.
Yeah, that is it for the
and working towards getting better and improving yourself. And I think that's my favorite part. Just even if it's the things that I'm not so good at, making them better and better. Even if it's 1% per day, I'm making that better. That's all I'm proud of. That's what I'm better. And then the worst side is weight cuts. I hate weight cuts, but it has to be done.
A lot of them say that when they come through weight cut, though, it gives you that extra mental edge. When you get on scales and it kills you, but then when you make it, it gives you like almost to enjoy that part of it. The accomplishment part.
Few fighters said that, isn't it?
Few of them mentioned it's sacrifice. That. It's like it says. I've done a picture about 9 weeks ago, where it's just shocking. I look at myself and think like I look like I don't know why I've got this image of Bart Simpson. That's how bad it is. I don't know why.
Do you have spike hair as well?
Yeah, well, probably. Probably that'll be it.
Little skateboard.
I swear, that's all I've been thinking about. I've been thinking about that. Homer Simpson, not Bart. It's Homer Simpson. The dad in it, the father, Homer Simpson. So I'm looking at Homer Simpson. I'm like, that's me. But then I took a photo like 3 weeks ago, and I'm like, wow. And now, so it's like for me, these are all things that are positives, and I'm thinking, you know what? We're on the right direction. Everything's going right. And like I says, I'm not going to let myself go now. 2 years ago, like I said, I've had 2 years out. I've had loads of stuff happen. And it's like, that's kind of been the cause of it. But now I'm going to keep myself in a shape where I'm not going to go over 100 kg. I'm going to be around the 95s and I'm going to stay around there. I'm not going to just...
And you're kind of ready whenever.
Yeah. So I'm proud of what I've done now. This 9 weeks that I've had, I'm proud of everything that's gone in plan.
Yeah. So what are you doing at the moment then? How many times a week you're training, and where are you splitting your training? Did you say between AVT and?
Yeah. So,
is it a place in Dewsbury? What is it?
Yeah. So I'm at
Sweat Boxes.
Yeah. So I'm at AVT. So I'm sparring there always on Friday nights. But obviously because it's a different sport and it's bare-knuckle, then I've been doing a lot of striking at Sweat Box, and then I'm doing a lot of one-to-ones with the boxing coach at KBW Boxing Gym in Dewsbury. So, all them 3 gyms I'm splitting, but mainly AVT Sweatbox. I'm doing a lot of the sparring.
Yeah.
And again, it's different kind of sparring partners. We've got boxers, we've got kickboxers, we've got MMA fighters. So I'm mixing it up with everybody. And then at KBW, it's just all technical work and pure boxing.
God. I have a bit of a funny question.
Yeah.
Do you know before the fight?
Yeah.
Do you have any kind of like rituals you follow, or something you do before every fight, like prepare yourself and stuff? Like superstitions or something. Some people say, "Oh, I'll do this every time," or touch wood or whatever.
Do you pray before you go out?
100%. Yeah, definitely. I pray. I always pray, because at the end of the day, like my main prayer is the safety of myself, making sure I come out safe, but also my opponent. Because it's a sport, no matter what. I've always got respect for anyone who
things can happen, isn't it?
I'm not that type of person that will disrespect anybody, and so far, thank God, I've never had that in my career where I've had any, not, been against anybody or anything like that. It's just a fight and it's a sport, and that's how I look at it. So I like to be respectful. So I'll always, for myself, a prayer, and for my opponent, no matter what. But ritual-wise, I think it's more game plans. So before, like I mentioned, I never used to have a game plan when I used to fight, which is quite mad. But when I fought in Thailand, I had a game plan. And it's weird. Again, I think I'm maybe revealing too much here, but it's all right. I don't mind. It's all good. But when I fought in Thailand, my friend Fizano was in the corner. He said to me, what's your game plan? I'm like, fight. And he's like, yeah, but what we're going to start off with? Okay, what we're going to do? He says, when you go in there, I want you to throw a couple of jabs. I want you to throw inside kick and then throw 1-2. I'm like, okay. He says, just to get rid of that nervous energy. I'm like, okay. He said, you're going to do that? I said, okay, fair enough. So I've gone into the fight and I've exactly done that. It's like as if it's a controller, and I can hear him in the corner. It's funny when I watch the video, I can see him do this, and I'm listening to him and I'm doing it. But then that 30 seconds of that nervous energy has disappeared, and then I'm in the fight and everything there. So he said to me, now this is, I think, what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a game plan. So that's my aim. When I go into this fight, I'm going to have a game plan. So my mind is set to do a job. I'm going to start with that. And I think that's what's going to keep me strong. So, you know, to get rid of that nervous energy, to get rid of that lactic energy where you just... Because in a fight, it feels like everything feels slow. You know, there's been fights where I've gone in, I'm like, whoa, is this how slow I'm punching?
A lot of people say that it's in like slow motion.
Weird, it's the weirdest feeling. But when you have a game plan and you're like, right, okay, I'm going to start off, right, as soon as the bell goes, I'm going to throw a double jab right hand. Bam, 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 right hand.
Yeah,
that's it. That's gone then. Then you're into the fight. So I've learned that. So that's going to be, but my ritual side of it is obviously always prayer. And then I'll have a game plan just to make sure I've got something to focus on. Which is mad though. You know, like sometimes I think like, I've never had a game plan. It's always been like, based on my training, I'll be like, right, okay, we're going to do this when we fight. But I think now with more age and experience and being involved in the gym much more.
But you evolve with time, isn't it? It's natural. Because before you said you used to just go in first round and just go hell for fire. But you realize now that when you get older, if you do this every time, you will get caught sometimes and you fall short because you just run in. So you can't do that anymore. So you grow, don't you?
You become mature, and that's in life as well as a person. You know, from mistakes, you become better. And, you know, you mature more from things. So sometimes, you know, from certain things, you'll be like, oh, God, why did I do that for? But you know, in life, the way I even look at life and in general and everything, like, there's things that happen in life that sometimes you have regrets and, you know, there's mistakes and there's things that go wrong for you. But it's all about learning and it's always about overcoming. And that's what makes you a better person. I'm a big believer of that. So that's the way I look at it. And like, same with training. You know, if I'm making mistakes in the gym, good, I'm making them mistakes. If I'm getting hurt in the gym, good, I'm getting hurt in the gym.
That's where you want them things to happen.
Yeah, 100%. You know.
With regards to the game plan, though, you've got to be. You can't just focus on plan A, can you?
No, you can go out the window as well.
Depending on what your opponent does, and it can throw some people. So almost when you're kind of young and raw, it kind of works better for you in some ways.
Yeah.
Because they don't kind of know what to expect from you either. If you do the same thing on every fight at the beginning, your opponent knows what to expect from you.
Yeah.
Well, when you're more raw without a game plan, it's kind of like what you said earlier about when you fought the guy and he said, "Oh, watch your tape," and you come out different. It's like
that's what I mean. It's all about that, and I think like what you said earlier about my upcoming opponent Patrick. Have you watched many footage of him? I've only watched a couple just to see who I'm fighting against, and I've seen enough for myself to think, right, okay, focus on yourself, and that's it. Because I don't want to like focus on somebody else. Yes, I've seen a bit of him, but I want to work on everything I'm doing right and everything I'm doing wrong. So everything that I'm doing wrong, I'm improving and I'm making better. In the gym, the trainers will spot it. Oh, you've got your guard down. Why is your guard down? Oh, you're doing this wrong. You're doing that wrong. Blah, blah, blah. And it just continues and you just focus on yourself. And I think that's how you become a better fighter. Focus on yourself. Because when you get taken into deep waters, you know, right, okay, I'm getting taken in deep waters now. I need to start doing this because you've been training on that, working on it.
And you prepared on that. When you prepare on yourself, you leave no stone unturned. Then you know you're prepared no matter what.
100%, yeah. Instead of being in a shock system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We... Actually, that was off camera. I think when we went to the gym, we remember we spoke with Joe about this, Johnny Graham's coach. And he said this is very similar thing as well. He said, you know, because he's predominantly a boxing coach, isn't he? That's what he is now. He's bare-knuckle. Well, he's coaching bare-knuckle fight and stuff like that. But he's himself predominantly a boxer, and he coaches boxing. And he said, you know, when somebody comes in from, let's say, a boxing background, and you spar with them, and it kind of everything flows, and you know where you are, and you know everything's kind of going well. And he goes, you get the MMA fighter, or an amateur, or somebody novice, complete novice. He goes, suddenly you're getting caught because the punch is coming from those places where you didn't expect them to come. And you're like, just keep getting caught.
Yeah.
So it's like, I understand now as well what you're saying. Rather, you know, in the beginning of the fight, if you might have to change few things and stuff rather than...
ready for it. Yeah. It's like my boxing coach, Tani, he said to me the other day, I'm glad I've not made you do any boxing sparring. And I'm like boxing as in with boxers. I'm like, oh, why? And he's like, because, he says, you're going into a sport he said, after me watching the DeGale fight, I've realised it's a sport where it involves everything. He says, that's why it's good you're mixing it up with different type of fighters. Like, I'm fighting with kickboxers, which is of course Sweatbox.
Yeah.
AVT, which has got boxers and also MMA fighters and kickboxers. And then I've got KBW, which is pure boxing. But he says, I'm happy you're not doing too much boxing, because he said you need to be with different styles. Because a boxer's always going to be, you know, in and out,
high guard.
etc. Yeah. Where with, you know, MMA guys will be a bit more maybe heavy-footed, and it's a different kind of style. So that's why I'm this sport where I'm thinking I'm taking advantages of everything differently instead of just purely, because a lot of people think you have to just do pure boxing, but I don't believe that. I think it's everything.
The last fight with Johnny Graham and Nav Mansouri.
Wow.
Both two really good guys.
You've seen that?
Yeah, what a fight.
Jesus
Johnny Graham.
Christ.
Yeah, Johnny Graham, and he'd been inactive. I don't think he'd fought for about a year.
Tough
And
guy.
I tell you what, the style, like Nav come out with an high guard, like typically more of a boxing.
Yeah.
And Johnny, in and out style, power, and the movement on him, it was
That's
what's beautiful about this sport to us.
It was beautiful to watch.
The different style. When you watch straight boxing, 9 times out of 10 it bores life out of you.
Yeah.
I might get slagged off the foot for saying that, actually,
But
it
it's
does.
true.
You watch this bare knuckle game, and it's just so exciting. You never know what's going to happen. And most at fights are 50-50 or close to it. Different styles from different disciplines. It's a beautiful fucking sport.
And it's like you watch that, like Nav Mansouri was a very good pro. He was a very good pro boxer.
Well,
and I was really shocked about it, but Johnny Graham had that something about him.
He looked like a bare knuckle
tough.
fighter, Johnny Graham.
Yeah.
I actually like him. He's a tough.
Oh yeah, he's
a good looking dude as well.
yeah,
you know?
yeah,
everyone says that.
I swear he's a good looking dude.
After him, you're probably second best.
Oh,
looking
thank you.
lad
I'll take that. We'll see after that fight, hopefully.
But you know, Johnny Graham, he has actually quite good amateur background as well.
Yes, he does. Yeah, I've been told. Yeah.
So yeah, he has. And then after that,
Well,
he kind of gave up.
He had 4 or 5 as a pro as well.
Yeah, he did. But after that, because life got in the way.
But if you were just to
that's
look at their records and say, oh, look, Nav, I think he'd had 22 wins. He'd had like 26 fights, I think lost 4. Johnny had only had 4 or 5 pro. So you think boxing, Nav's definitely a better boxer.
Yeah.
But going into this game,
it's
it's
different,
not
it's
about
different.
boxing,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
it? But it's an element of it.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's mad because like my uncle over there, we were watching BKFC, so he's like, oh, have you seen Johnny Graham? I said, yeah, Uncle, that was a good fight. He says, oh, I'm good friends with him. I'm like, how do you know him? My uncle Angie. I'm like, how do you know him? He's like, oh, I met him at gym, because my uncle's he's like 50 odd, but he's in incredible shape, like amazing. Like he's like pure gym, you know, one of them freaks. And
He'll go twice a day.
yeah, it's just amazing. Like my uncle's got abs, everything. I just admired him. I think, you know what, wow. So he's seen Johnny Graham one time training, and he was gone up to Johnny Graham and he says, you know what, he said, mate, that's a physique, that. And then from there, they met each other in sauna, and they became friends, and they were talking to each other. And my uncle, like, you know what, he's such a nice guy. And I says, Uncle, you know what, he's a tough dude, that guy.
It'd be good for you, if we can just mention this as well.
Yeah.
He's opened his own gym up in Normanton.
Has he?
Him and his
Okay.
coach, Joe
Yeah.
McLaughlin.
Right.
And maybe not now because you've only got a couple of weeks to your fight, but I'm pretty sure, I mean, they're really good lads.
Oh, definitely.
I'm pretty sure, obviously through your connection with your uncle, or maybe through us, we can put a...
Oh,
maybe you can find him on socials.
Yeah.
He'd more than likely probably have you over for some sparring or to get a bit of training in.
They have full squares. You know, in BKC, the BKFC, they have squared circle.
Yeah.
They have that in there. They
I'd
built
love
that.
to do that. Yeah. Like, I think with myself, I think at the moment it's just one of the things where, you know, like I said, I've had 2 years out, and it's just like me getting myself back into it. I think once we're past this, fingers crossed, I get that win as well. Then I'm gonna just start looking at all avenues and start seeking everything. Again, I'm gonna cross train and do whatever I can. But I think just for now, it's just one of them things where I just need to get past this to open them doors again. Yeah.
Do you know, growing up, what would you say, the most inspirational person in your life, out in sports or in out sports? You know, just
my grandfather. Yeah,
Grandfather.
My grandfather, yeah. Like me and my grandfather had like a good relationship, and I still remember till this day. I used to spend a lot of time with my grandfather. So like when I used to finish school, and then when I got older, when I started going into college, I used to always be that grandson that if he needed a hand, he'll have a computer, and he used to struggle with it. But my grandfather, one of them kind of people, he was a doctor as well, so but obviously he was late towards his age where sometimes he used to struggle with the computer, and he used to call me, oh, can you help me with this? So I remember I used to help him, and one time, I remember still to this day, I had my phone, and it was ringing non-stop. My grandfather's like, oh, answer it, who's ringing you and stuff? I'm like, oh, it's alright, it's just my friends and stuff. And he's like, oh, no. He said, look, forget about me. He said, go play with your friends. And I turned the phone off. I said, no, grandfather, I'm going to spend some time with you. And what with my grandfather I learned in life was he taught me a lot of valuable lessons and a lot of valuable things. And he taught me love. Like as a person, I've realized your elders are the best people to learn good life advice from. And I feel as if, like me as a person, if there was an elderly person here, I will take as much advice off them as much as I can.
You can't buy wisdom.
You can't buy that wisdom. Yeah, I will note down everything. You know why? Because they are the most realist and purest people you can get advice off. And that's how I felt with my grandfather. So
they won't sugarcoat as well. They just tell you how it is.
Yeah, honestly, like he was just such an amazing person. And I still remember to this day where one day he said to me, come on, son, take me somewhere. He didn't tell me where to go. And we've gone to a memorial place where they were selling gravestones. I'm like, grandfather, why you brought me here for? And he's like, I just want to show you something. And he's like, that's what I want. I'm like, what are you showing me? And he's like, that's what I want. He's like, when I die, he says, I want you to tell all the family members that's the gravestone I want. I'm like, what is going on? So it hit me a bit. And then he says, come on, we're going somewhere else. I'm like, where are we going now? We've gone to the graveyard. I said, we come to see one of your friends. He says, no, I'm going to show you something. And we've walked into the graveyard, and then he's shown me a plot of land, and he says, that's where I want to be here. I'm like, grandfather, why are you telling me this? He says, you know why I'm telling you this? Because you know what? You have been someone that's always been there for me. And I just want to share a special moment to you where the day when I'm not here, you're going to remember my grandfather. You know what I mean? So
how old were you then?
I was young. I was like 17, 18 years old. But yeah, like sometimes like I look back and it upsets me sometimes because, it's hard, like sometimes when you have good people in your life.
But it's an honor as well because if your granddad just managed, he thought, you know what, the youngest one from the family, he's the one.
Yeah, it's just
he's the chosen one. Jesus,
that's why in life, like sometimes I, like with my kids as well, I try being the best I can for them because like I feel like I've learned a lot from my grandfather. Maybe I've not, like in life, I've not probably made him as proud as I would have thought I would have done, but like he was someone so special to me, and like he taught me so many good things, and like in life I feel as if I've took so many good valuable things from him that's made me as a caring person towards other people. Like I feel like a lot of the times there's been times where again I should have flown my boat and stuff like that, but there's been times I remember one time I was driving and it was a bus stop and there was an elderly man and it was raining, really pouring with rain, and I've just pulled over to him and I says, where are you going and stuff, and he says, I'm only off to the town, next town. I'm like, jump in car, and he's looking at me. I'm like, look, it's raining, I'll take you. And things like that. And whilst I was driving, and he asked me, he says, where are you from? And I told him, and he says, what your like father's name? And I told him, and he said, what's your grandfather? Your so-and-so's grandson. I'm like, yeah. He says, you know what, he was like that. And he said, you know what, I'm so happy. And he started praying for me. And I dropped him off. So, things like that I find valuable. So for me, the most special person in my life, there's many other people, but my grandfather, one person that I could sit down with, talk to, and I learned a lot of valuable lessons from him, and I take that as a positive in life, definitely. Yeah. Sorry, man.
No, it's all right.
I think you got Rich going there.
I know, that's it's good.
No, but that's good, isn't it? It's good to have somebody like that.
It's a touchy subject, but it means a lot to you, doesn't it? And
it does, 100%.
He's probably contributed even more than you realise to who you've become.
Yeah.
It gripped me as well because I used to... I kind of sympathize with you as well because my granddad, I used to sit with him and listen to stories.
100%, yeah.
And he used to, because he was very, very old, and he remembers Second World War. That's how old he was.
Yeah.
He was a boy then, but his dad used to tell him, because his dad was, in army and everything. So his dad would told all the stories.
Yeah.
And I used to listen to them, and my granddad, he was such a good person to the point where basically they were like a peasants in Lithuania, so they had small farm and stuff like that, a bit of land, so they used to do everything. They had animals, they had used to grow vegetables, fruits, what have you, and potatoes.
Yeah.
So when you grow them, you get they call it Colorado bugs.
Right.
They were brought by containers to starve the European population.
Right.
So because then basically what they do, they eat the leaves of potatoes.
Right. Okay.
And then potatoes die. So if you have no potatoes, you can't feed. So that's what they would. And they everywhere. Basically, they infested Europe.
Strip fields like
that.
They
strip fields.
I've seen something on that
So when we used to go and pick them, because it's so many of them, you shake them off the leaves.
Yeah.
And a lot of people used to just burn them. And my granddad never did that. He says, you can't do that to doesn't matter how big you are. Pain is pain.
Yeah.
So he used to put them in water for them to slowly drown. He goes, it's much better than me burning them. And he was that he believed that no matter how big you are, you can't hurt anybody, big or small. He didn't care. And so I was sympathized with that.
Yeah, it's
mate.
What you just said there. My grandfather was in the military as well, and he had a very, very tough mentality, but he was the most sweetest person, the stuff
big heart.
Yeah, big heart. And he was very intelligent, and he was just such a loving and caring person. But it was crazy because, like I said, when I used to give him time, he used to think, I'm a young lad, why? And I used to love going because for me it was just learning. But it's not that. I think that's it's taught me in life as well. Always, one thing he always told me is nice to be nice. That's what the quote my grandfather used to use. I still remember it to this day. He says, it's always nice to be nice. So whatever in life, if I can do something for somebody, I would try my best to do so and try learning his way of life that I did. And it's amazing, it's one of the things. And I think that's what it's all about, always. This is why as a fighter, and I want to always be respectful to everybody, and I don't want to be someone, involved in anything, because I want to character is a big thing for me, and I think that's what I want to always aim to show people, be a good person, be respectful, but also be a sportsman, not somebody who's just gonna be disrespectful to anything. I'm that kind of person. I'm open to everything and everyone, and I believe in right and wrong, and that's all I focus on, regardless of race, religion, whatever. I'm always about that.
We can do more people like you in the world at the minute. I tell you that,
integrity, isn't it? Integrity is the hardest
definitely.
thing you can build in yourself, isn't it? Because it's constant improvement rather than a state, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
You can't say, I have integrity. It's constant work, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And obviously, in short term, going back to your fighting career, obviously you're going to see how this fight goes. You're 35, aren't you? What about long term? Do you think you get into coaching or anything like that?
I
do you think you'll always kind of be in and around fight sports?
Yeah, I think.
When did you start fighting actually?
A long time, 2011, 2012. But I've had a lot of time off, and on my record, there's a lot of amateur fights that wasn't put on. So they used to be at that time. Used to be amateur C. So
when did you start them? Like 14, 15, eh?
Oh no, I'm 35 now. So I started when I was probably 19, 20. I started late. I didn't start
that's
early.
late,
Yeah, 19.
Because
20.
From your background, your family, I thought you would have started really early.
Yeah, so that's when the gym opened. Actually, that's when and immediately when the gym opened, that's when we got into it. So, with the coaching side, I like to do it in the future. Definitely, I actually used to do it in COVID. I used to do a lot of 1-to-1s, and thankfully, I used to always be booked out.
Did you? Oh,
yeah. So I used to help a lot.
Ticking over,
Yeah. I had a lot of different people. From kids to females to males and elderly people. So
did you enjoy doing that as well?
I enjoyed it, but I think for me now, I'm at that stage where it's all about me now. I want to focus on myself. Like I was telling, I've had 2 years out, and them 2 years I've had hell, and I've had so much gone on. Where now for me, it's time for me to achieve and move forward, focus, and that's what I want to aim for now. Definitely.
Yeah.
I've took him off track.
Honestly, completely shook me. That's what I wasn't.
Yeah, it's good. It's doesn't I think one thing as a human, crying and feeling and feelings, it's an important thing, and it should always be there. Definitely.
What would you say has been your biggest test then in your life or your career? If you had to highlight one, would you say it's been like last 2 years?
Yeah, 100%. This 2 years has been it's been horrible. And like I says, I don't really like going deep into things, and one day I probably will reveal a lot of stuff, but for now I just feel it's not the right time. But this 2 years has been so difficult for me as a person, and there's been people that I expected to be on my side that wasn't on my side. There's been people that have been judgmental about things and made my life difficult. There's been a lot of people that have made my life difficult. There's been things where I've lost things that have meant the world to me, but I've suffered a lot for these 2 years, and there's been times where as a person, within this 2 year period, I've looked back and I think now I look back and I think, you know what, it's made me stronger, and that's what it's doing. But I look back and I think, man, if it were anybody else, they probably would have topped themselves or done something, because that's how bad it's been. It's been horrible. I don't really speak much about things, and I try keeping things private, but I've been through hell, and sometimes there's been situations where, unfortunately, I've not been able to show my character. You know, I've been getting judged and people just having opinions and, you know, making things hard for me in life. And now I feel as if, like, just going through that horrible 2-year period, like, this is why I'm excited to fight, because I feel as if now I can just move on in life, and I'm at a stage where I'm positive and I've just got an open mind to just move on in life. And even though I've been through a battle, I feel now I've been through that battle.
You're ready to go into another
let's go. You know, let's go for it.
How big a part has your faith?
100%.
Show you know, how big a part has that played in getting you through this last couple of years?
Yeah, without faith, I'll be nothing. That's the way I look at it. You know, like, you don't understand, like, sometimes in life, you know, the way I look at it is like, not in like a big-headed way or anything like that, but sometimes I even question and I speak to God myself, where I say, like, why is it me? Why do I always get bad things happening to me? Why can't I just, like, have good things ahead? You know, like, sometimes when you feel in life, like, when good things happen, you think, yes, you know what, this is it now. This is my chance to just shine and be happy. And that's what I felt. You know, I had things that came on the plate for me where I worked so hard towards, and it just got taken away from me. And that's why sometimes I question it, but then that's the reason why you question it. Why? Because that's where you build your faith. And now I've been through this 2-year period. You know, there was a stage where I didn't think I'm going to come back into fighting. I thought, you know, it's gone. And then when I started that first trip to the gym, where I started training slowly and I started working towards it, and now to what I am now, but the mindset I've got now, I'm like,
as strong as ever.
You know what?
God tests you in life,
Yeah.
and you know that test to overcome you makes you a better person.
And
that's
what
what I'm going.
you know, earlier on when we spoke about you coming back and everything to bare-knuckle, watch you speak and watch your eyes, how they lit up when you were speaking. You needed that, didn't you?
I do, 100%. Yeah, you
oh
don't
my
understand.
God,
Like,
I could feel it.
I feel like,
I could feel energy as well.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you.
and I feel like I've got so much emotion inside me where I'm holding it until I get past this stage. And if I get past this stage, man, you don't understand how I'm gonna feel like, because there's just so much in there that I've just put away, and I thought, you know what, sort yourself out. And like I said, I've got 2 beautiful kids that, unfortunately, the 2 years I've suffered as well with this. And I feel as if, like, now, and my family, you know, they've suffered from it, and there's friends that have seen me go, you know, downhill and, you know, struggle. And there's been times where my father's been ringing me and checking up on me. Like, my father now is like a ritual. He'll ring me on a Friday, end of the week, Saturday, just to see how I am. Are you okay, son? Dad, why are you calling me? Or son, I just want to see how you are.
You need that, don't you? You
Yeah.
need that
People
support
worry.
around you.
People
Friends,
worry. And
family.
you know what? It's like
I think
with
because Dad understands, because if one in family, if one person is unwell, his entire family feels it, doesn't
100%.
it?
It
It's
takes
just
a
how
good
it
toll,
is.
and it's like, honestly, I look back and I think to myself, like, I've been through hell, and you know, I can't obviously say much on cameras or anything like that, and maybe one day I will reveal it, but like, I feel as if what I've been through, like, everything's been taken away from me. And you know, when you comes to a point where you look down and you think to yourself, I've got nothing now, like, you know, but the only thing that's kept me strong is my faith and my kids. And now see my kids, they're smiling and seeing, you know, daddy's happy, and you know, like, I'm spending a lot of time with my kids, and I'm giving them the energy that they need.
Yeah.
I think maybe them things, they were all obstacles and hurdles that I've gone through, and maybe things have not gone my way, but now God's given me that chance where I'm strong now, and mentally I'm ready to go. This is why I feel as if, like, this fight, I feel as if I'm gonna be a killer. I swear, I know it sounds mad, but I feel as if I've got that killer mindset. Hopefully, anyways, I feel that, because I feel as if, take me down, do whatever you need to do to me. If you would really, like, give me your best shots, you know, that's how I feel. I feel like I'm ready to just go, you know, I'm ready to fight. You know?
Have you ever felt like that before?
Yeah.
Don't you? That's the
Have you ever felt like this before?
Never. That's why I just feel as if this is the right moment, because I feel like even my trainer, Tani, the boxing coach, says to me, he used to teach me before, you know, he says, you're different this time. He says, you know, like, you're not that same person that I used to be with. He says, you just come and you go, you know, you're doing it. I just feel as if there's so much inside me where, you know, I'm ready to do it, and hopefully God gives me this win, and inshallah I win, and that's it. Then we're gonna go, because I just feel as if this is my chance now to really.
Your time,
Yeah.
With bare-knuckle as well, 35. If you've been pretty inactive over the last so many years, it's not old, is it, for bare-knuckle?
No. Like, this is your peak age, and I feel this is the right moment for me to really go. And I feel like it's crazy, but I feel like everything I've experienced and everything I've gone through and the days where I've been, down and out and suffered, I feel as if now this is the chance now. This is now. Go for it. This is your door now. Oh, it's open. Just go for it and flip it.
It's your chance, man.
Get stuck in.
It's your time. And
Fingers crossed.
You were saying earlier about Jay Furniss said as well, after everything you've just touched again, everything you've been through, he said, what did you can tell us, what did he say?
Yeah, so like Jay, I said to Jay, look, Jay, I'm going to be doing going to bare-knuckle and stuff like that. And he's like, look, mate, I am so happy you're just coming back into the gym and you've got yourself back together again. And he said something really nice to me, which, meant a lot. He says, the things that you've been through, it couldn't have happened to the most nicest person. And, just when you hear a lot of people, like, who give you positive things like that and they say nice things like that uplifts you. And I feel as if, like, there's a purpose in life and sometimes things don't go your way, but I always believe God's the best of all planners and something will come ahead for you that's going to be better. And yeah, Jay says to me, look, I'm just happy you're fighting and you've got yourself back together, and that's what it's all about. I've realised now, in the bad times that I had, there was a very few people that were there for me, but now the good times, them very few people are there, like saying, come on, just go for it now, this is your chance, go for it. And it's meaningful. This fight's meaningful for me. Even if I came off with a loss with that fight, if I did, I don't care in that sense of, because I'm thinking what I've been through and how things have been so difficult and what I've achieved now, and I'm looking at myself thinking, you know what, I feel active again, I'm back to myself, I'm healthy, I'm strong here.
The lion's back.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. The lion is back.
But then as well, that's what I like about like bare knuckle and MMA as well. And that's what I don't like about boxing. You touched on that earlier on. So if you're a boxer, especially specifically if you become professional, you're just chasing that zero constantly, because that one loss is a devastating thing. Like, oh my God, he lost one fight. He's not good. Like, it's boxing is brutal on that point, and that's why I think it's been not very good for the last at least a decade, isn't it? Because everyone is protecting their zero.
Yeah.
So the best fighters, they don't want to fight each other, because whoever loses, well, that's it. They feel like their career is over.
It's kind of changing now. But for years,
it is changing now a bit, but in MMA or in bare knuckle, that really doesn't matter. You lost one, doesn't matter. Just there is next second. There is always a next fight, and I like that. That if you lose, it's like, it's not a big deal. Well, you lost, it wasn't your night. You just carry on.
How many times has Danny said that? He always tells his young fighters to fight as much as they can. If win, lose, draw,
100%. Danny's a big believer of that. Yeah.
Keep fighting.
Yeah.
Keep sharp. He says it's it's valuable.
And he's the one that he says, not do as I say, do as I do, because he's himself. He's
the one that he does everything, Danny, and that's what it's all about. And I think that's what it's all about. Like, there's people that worry about losses. I'm not at that stage where I don't care. I don't care about losing or anything like that. But for me, my goal is, and my mentality now is, even if you lost, you go out with your shield.
Yeah.
And I will kick myself if I don't go out with my shield. And that's all I want to do. I want to fight with the shield. But the goal is to win, no matter what. But anything can happen in a fight. And I think that's, like, I feel as if now, like, before when I used to fight, it was like I had no purpose. It was a hobby. But now it's like as if I'm kind of like, my personal life is going into this fight game now. It's kind of like, I feel as if my character is going into this. Before I couldn't put my character, it was like hobby and I'm winning, like that. But I feel like now what I've been through and what I've suffered and what I've gone through, it's all in there, where I'm transferring that into the fight game, where now it's like a new me. That's what I feel like. I feel reborn again, ready to go. And I feel as if, like you said, the lion, hopefully that's going to come out.
So we're only a couple of weeks away now, aren't we? 18th.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
What have you been?
2 weeks.
What have you been? You've sold quite a few tickets as well.
I have, yeah. I'm blessed on that side as well. Like, I thought I was going to struggle with tickets, and I've always sold quite a lot of tickets.
Because inactivity.
Yeah, I thought, I've sold a lot of tickets, but it's mad. Like, I actually thought I may struggle, but I've always sold tickets. That's the weirdest thing. I've actually done quite well as a ticket seller, and then I thought, all right, I've put the post up. Yeah, I'm getting a bit of interest. But the moment I got the tickets, they just started going. And funny enough, a couple of days ago, I put, right, guys, I've only got the last 15 tickets. Within 20 minutes, them tickets have gone.
No, good.
And now I've gone over. So I've contacted Jim. I said, Jim, can you give me more tickets? But you know what? This is what I'm grateful for. This is why I appreciate so much, because there's people there that are going to be spending money. And even I've not fought for 2 years, but it's people that are supporting me and wanting me to do well. And, you know, that's why I think, you know, again, I'm going back into life and stuff like that. You have obstacles, you have bad things, and you get judged by people that don't really know the real you. But then there's people that really know the real you that come to support you. And it's weird because I had someone call me from Bradford. Well, he actually messaged me on Snapchat and he says, oh, look, can I take 3 tickets of you? I said, yeah, don't know him. And I'm like, oh, I gave him the 3 tickets and he says, oh, I've watched your fights in the past and I'm looking forward to it. And then yesterday I had someone from Huddersfield, who I don't even know who it is, contacted me and saying, can I take 3? And you know, when you see that, it really, you know, you appreciate.
It gives you that as well, that boost
really
you need.
Yeah, you
You're
just
like,
think to
okay,
yourself, wow,
so
like really, like people actually do like
me.
support me, you know. And it's a good feeling. So yeah, it'll be good. We're gonna have good support, and I'm sure they're gonna be loud.
And what about sponsors? Have you had many people get on board?
Yeah. So again, I'm thankful on that side. I've had quite a lot of sponsors come in, and again, it's you're just grateful for it. Like I've just recently had a new company come in, the caring, so the care for like vulnerable people.
Oh, okay.
And they contacted me saying, look, we want you to be like an ambassador, and also if we can sponsor you, and you know, things like that. But that was just by someone's word of mouth. And you know, it was someone that, you know, obviously told them the situation that I've been through and everything, and they were like, look, you know, we want him to represent us. And you know, like little things like this, a lot of people are doing for me. And then I've got my old sponsor Dents. They like do hair transplants, hair products.
Jesus Christ, hit me and him up.
Yeah. So guys, honestly, we can work.
Can you get that code written down in that?
25% discount for me. Yeah,
you can work towards them. And then I've got like EFW, got Natural Remedy. Again, these are all guys that I've just.
EFW, what's that?
So they're like Equality for Workers Union. So they work for people who are employers and employees that have actually had, obviously, you know, been dismissed unfairly.
So
or
they're not solicitors, but they are like advisors. Is that
unions?
Correct?
Yeah, they're a union, so they support
union,
that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of sponsors that I've just recently had. Eldwick Law, Salem Law, who have actually just sponsored me. So they're like a solicitor-based firm. So you know, that is what I mean. Like, there's businesses and support that are coming in and, you know, trying to help out. After 2 years, I'm so blessed. Yeah. Blessed.
But we spoke about this before with few fighters now, but as a fighter, you need this so much because that support means everything. Because if you go on a fight camp, you can't work really. If you want to prepare properly for a fight, you train probably twice a day or something. You have no time to work, isn't it? So that support from sponsors, it means everything to you, because that's how you survive. Then that's how you can support yourself before the fight, isn't it?
I'll tell you a little story with Dents, the hair transplant, hair products. So them guys, for the 2-year period that I've not competed, and also EFW, the Equality Workers for Union, they've been giving me a financial amount every month for 2 years. So
even though you're not competed?
Even though I've not competed.
I'll tell you what, you don't
even So then Dents recently, probably past 4 months, they've stopped paying. But obviously I know the owner, and you know, I spoke to him and stuff, and obviously I understand that because I've not competed. But like I said, the majority, like good 16 months, they've been paying.
They didn't have to. They just did it anyway.
So when I got this fight announced, I contacted a good friend of mine, Asim, who's one of the owners, and I said to him, look, I don't want no financial, nothing from you for this fight, but I'm putting your logo on. And he's like, oh no, don't worry. I said, no, I'm doing that for you, because I said, you have helped me during a period where, you know, I wasn't competing and you've been financially supporting me. Now it's my time to repay back.
To give back.
So I am putting your logo on without any. And I said, I'm going to do this for 2 fights just for you. And then after that, if you want to carry on, but I'm going to return it back to you. So this is the appreciation I've got for these guys, because these guys have supported me when I've not been there and not competed. And I'm not much of a social media person, to be honest with you. Like now, I tend to, when I have a fight, I get rid of social media, because I like to have peace in life. Social media, I find it very negative sometimes, and I just like to move away from that. So like, but they still say to me, like, even when I share something or whatever, they tend to still get people coming in. Like, I didn't know, Dents told me that they've had 2 hair transplants done. So they've got another side business called Javida, which is the actual hair transplant. Okay. And Dents is the one that provide hair products. But they said Javida's actually got quite a few recommendations, and then you just think about how much they probably make on hair transplants, you know. So, and I don't realize this by just sharing. It's good, you know. Like, these are like people that have helped me a lot, and I'm grateful for them. So, yeah. So money and all this stuff's nothing really to me. It's more about, you know, I just appreciate the support I'm getting off these people, and it's amazing to get it off, you know, good people like this.
Yeah. So. It's probably a good time then to end, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. We've been talking for ages. We could go on all day, can't we?
But it's been real pleasure having you here.
You too, guys. Honestly,
really enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah. No, like I says, I just appreciate you, like, guys, putting me on. And like I says, you're the first podcast now I've done after 2 years. And going on to a new sport, and honestly,
we'll definitely have another chat with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Forward.
There's a reason why, obviously, you know, I came to you guys because you're growing. And it's amazing to see, and like I said, just keep that same energy. Like I said, you're both great guys, and you'll smash it.
Really
just keep it forward.
That. And again, good luck on 18th, mate. I mean, hopefully, I'm going to try and get to that event actually. Obviously, it's local. It's a great card, good headline. Obviously, you're back. I mean, in business. There'll be a lot of eyes on the show. We wish you all the best moving forward.
Thank you. Yeah, hoping you're doing well.
It's been great having you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you, mate.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, mate.
The No Bones Podcast.